I know what you mean. What is it? Why don't women like beards? I don't get it.
My fiance likes it when I have a well-kept beard.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have trouble keeping the beard classy. You know,
Yeah.
beard gets out of hand pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think I had mine kind of shaggy until about a week ago. She was like, "Yeah, it's a little much." I'm like, whatever. I'll shave it all. He's like, "They're talking about your beard."
I really like the hat beard combo. It's very Snow White.
You know, he reminds me of Adam Barnello.
He does.
The beard is a thing in the Magic culture. You know, you got like Jay Boosh from the A-Team podcast. Caleb Durwood had a killer beard for a while.
The gnarly beard.
You know,
they got rid of it and they brought it back.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like, I can do it. I can just do that. Big Head Joe, of course, my podcasting partner has a heck of a Viking beard going on. So, yeah, it's funny. I was looking back for whatever. I was on MTG Salvation, like looking back through old private messages or whatever for trades, and I realized that me and Caleb at some point were discussing a trade. But I don't know if it ever happened because it deletes some of the messages. I'm like, that's Caleb Durwood. That's funny. In like 2008, trying to trade for my Glacial Fortress or something, or whatever. It wasn't Glacial Fortress, but whatever it was. It was just kind of funny because I didn't know Caleb then.
Yeah, I had one of the first SCG opens on the in Philadelphia before there was an SCG Live. At the Legacy portion, I was playing a mono blue control deck. Now I was probably the first person to play Jace the Mind Sculptor in Legacy, and somebody took a picture of me and put it on Facebook, and it was me holding up Glenalantra Archmage. And the first comment on it was some guy who I don't know, and he wrote beards and blue cards. Thought it was funny.
That is awesome. So looks like mulligan happening here for Eric.
Yeah, Eric playing blue-white Delver. Deck that mulligans pretty well. Now, Greg Pino, I mean, this deck's pretty awesome. This is the deck I would like to see in the top 8 of this tournament. He has just access to so many one-ofs. He has 1 Priest of Erebras, 4 Huntmaster of the Fells, a Hell Rider, Metamorph, Zell's Conscripts, Acidic Slime, Primeval Titan, Inferno Titan. He even has a Sword of Feast and Famine in his main deck, which is pretty awesome because he's playing 6 one-drop Mana Accelerators. He has access to turn 2 sword games where he can just crush people. And it's just a card that people won't play around because he's a Birthing Pod deck, and it's pretty obvious he's going to be a Birthing Pod deck when, he's got Naya mana and he's casting cards like Strangleroot Geist, Blade Splicer, and the like, so. And
I think we're about to be underway. Gitaxian Probe from Eric.
Yeah, so the cat's going to be out of the bag pretty quick here. And he sees a hand of Copperline Gorge, Kessig Wolf Run, Birds of Paradise, 2 copies of Huntmaster of the Fells, Green Sun Zenith, and Strangleroot Geist.
That's a fairly nice opener.
Yeah.
He can...
Can't be upset with that one. At this point, it looks like it's just a green-red aggro deck.
Yeah.
Ooh, Eric has his Mental Misstep in his opening hand. That's going to be awesome here.
Yeah. Ponder.
Pondering.
So much action just on turn 1. It's just going to be like, it's like Gitaxian Probe, Ponder, and then I'm going to still counterspell something. I like it.
Yeah, I cast 2 spells on turn 1. Oh, I'm going to counter your spell. Oh, we're playing Standard, by the way.
Yeah. It's like, what?
That's got to be a little frustrating for Greg.
Yeah, he probably didn't expect that to happen.
It's also pretty cool that Greg's deck, he has the option of turn 1 Gitaxian Probing, so he knows whether or not he needs to ponder for the Mental Misstep.
Yeah.
So
Green Sun Zenith for 1.
Presumably grabbing a Birds of Paradise here. Eric, still no pressure on the table. Going to gut shot that bird away. And he knows that unless Greg has top decked the land in the last 2 turns, that Greg, now without those 2 birds, is unable to cast any of the spells in his hand. Oh, but it looks like Greg did draw another bird, so hopefully he can find another land drop, but if he can't, he could be in a world of hurt here.
Spectral Flight on a Snapcaster Mage.
Yeah, and you know, that's actually really good against Greg's deck.
Yeah, so he's bringing the beats for 4.
Yeah, Greg down to 16 already. Fails to find a 3rd land. And after that gut shot and that mental misstep, Eric's leaning on him pretty hard.
Yeah, Eric wishes he had that Snapcaster. He can Snapcaster gut shot the birds.
Yeah.
Let me see your hand. Huntmaster, Primeval Titan, Strangleroot Geist. Wow.
And that's a top end, and unfortunately those 2 Strangleroot Geists are both double green. Now, you know, Greg Pino's deck, one of the drawbacks of playing a deck like this is, you know, you're really mana intensive across 3 colors, and you're still playing a Kessig Wolf run and 2 Gavining Townships. That can really, really hurt your mana base. All right, so it gets in there for another 4. It's all right, his opponent already knows what's in there.
Yeah, it's just kind of funny. It just seemed like it just jumped out of his hand. So, all right, so Greg gonna get an opportunity to cast more than a Birds of Paradise in this game here.
I'm surprised Greg chose to go with Strangleroot Geist over Blade Splicer there. In a lot of ways, Greg may, him casting Strangleroot Geist there, maybe him just kind of saying, all right, I've probably lost this game. I'd rather my opponent think I'm a green-red aggro deck.
Yeah.
Than him knowing that I have white.
Yeah, I think that might have been.
And that I let the cat out of the bag that I'm a Birthing Pod deck.
So Delver of Secrets from Eric, and Greg is on a short clock.
Greg Pino getting in for 4, and life total's tied up at 8-8. Unfortunately for Greg, you know, it's not looking good. Eric fails to flip his Delver, but still going to get in there for probably 5 damage. Greg falling down to 3 now. And a Porcelain Legionnaire from Eric. Ooh, and is it possible that no, it's not. Okay. Yeah, and from the looks of things, Eric even has a mana leak in hand. If he's going to pay the 2 life for that Porcelain Legionnaire when he's in a racing situation like this, he almost definitely is mana leaking.
Yeah.
All right, another land.
And Green Sun's in it for 2. Yeah. Eric's thinking about it. Lets it resolve. Says it's just Strangleroot Geist? Yes, it is.
Yeah, 3rd Strangleroot Geist. And all of them getting into the red zone. 1 gets blocked. And Eric goes down to 2 now.
Has to find a way to deal with the bird. Delver flips, and that's it. Wow. That's a way to deal with the bird.
Yep. That is a way to deal with it. Yeah. Greg, doing surprisingly well that game, despite, being stuck, not being able to cast any spells for multiple turns there in the early turns of the game. Now, with the new tiebreaker rule, players in the top 8 will play or draw based on their standings. And somebody correctly mentions on Twitter that, when you're XO going in the second to last round of a tournament, it's correct to draw. But in the final round, if you're XO1, you can play it out. And if you lose, you're probably still in the top 8. And if you win, you've probably secured first seed.
So you think Lockman could have done that last week? Because he was
Probably
XO going into the right, isn't that right? That's why that was brought up.
He played against a friend in the very last round, though, so it's, you're not really playing a Dream Crusher. So, you're like, oh, well, cool, we're both in the top 8.
Yeah, so that was we brought that up because we were talking about the new player draw rule kind of thing, but interesting. I guess, like I said at the time, it adds like a whole other kind of dynamic to things where you're kind of forced to make a decision. And like you said, if you're playing against a friend, well, you're gonna just scoop them in.
So what do you think Greg's hairstyle is underneath the beanie? Do you think he has like a strictly business haircut, or could it be like a flock of seagulls?
Could be. I think he looks like a flock of seagulls.
Looks like a flock of seagulls. Eric Prem also wearing a hat, but it's a little more obvious what his hairstyle is underneath the hat.
I like the islands Eric is using. I think they're Lorwyn Islands.
Yeah, the Lorwyn art is cartoony, kind of fun. Somebody'd like to know if I'm a fan of Zell's conscripts. I would say yes.
Somebody, Brian Sondag, the original innovator of Wolf Run, back in Nashville in October last year, won that event. That was exciting. But now look what you did, Brian.
Brian Sondag.
Are we what? That's just what I'm noticing on the chat feed and Twitter is that something should have came into play tap, but it wasn't.
I guess it was.
No, it was a Copperline Gorge. The second one, wasn't it?
I think actually it was a rootbound crag. There was a rootbound crag played.
And that should have come into play tap then, yeah.
But,
okay, somebody, I thought it was a Copperline Gorge, otherwise I would have said something, obviously. Somebody pointed out that the one land should have come into play tapped.
Yeah, I remember Rootbound Crag being on the table at the end of the game. I just don't remember it being...
Yeah, I thought, well, Rootbound Crag was his first land, wasn't it? And then, or no, his first land was the Copperline Gorge.
Yeah.
That's what it was. He had a Copperline Gorge and a Rootbound Crag in play,
right.
So I just assumed that the Copperline Gorge was the one that...
The fresh one.
Yeah. But you're right, he had a turn 1 bird, so it must have not been. Well, that was definitely a mistake. Ended up not affecting the outcome, but... Yeah, and
Twitter is kind of funny, but we won't get into that.
Yeah, I mean, the comedy.
That does look like a good trade, Emmett Gore.
Yeah, Emmett Gord saying he traded an Elish Norn for a Gristleband, 3 Zealous Conscripts, and a Strip Mine.
Yeah, seems like a pretty good trade.
Yeah.
Elish
Strip Mine
Norn.
is a powerful spell.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a spell, it's a powerful card.
Elish Norn rotating out in 5 months, right? She was new Phyrexia. It's old hat. New Phyrexia is old hat.
It's kind of crazy to think.
I know it is.
It seems so new.
Like, it does seem so new. Batter Skull seems very.
It's so weird. I remember when I was younger, I would be like, oh my god, these cards have been around forever. When are they
Yeah.
going to rotate? And now I'm like, I just got these cards. All right, so turn 1 Bird of Paradise from Greg Pino. No mental misstep. Thumbs up from him. Eric Prem has a Delver of
gut shot.
Secrets and a Gut Shot. So he's going to fall to 18 here, and he has turn 1 Delver. All right, let's see what Greg has for turn 2. It looks like he has a Razor Ridge Thicket into a Stranglegeist. Gonna attack Eric, get Eric down to 18 here. And that's a problem for Eric. When your opponent's
Eric's
on the
actually
play,
going to be down to 16 because of gut shot.
oh yeah. When your opponent's on the play, and they have a turn 2 Stranglegeist, and you're playing Delver, it's not a good thing.
Island, Delver attacks.
So 19 to 16 in favor of Greg at this point. Another Delver of Secrets.
Second Delver. This could be rough if they both flip at the same time.
Yeah, it's so scary.
That's the best.
And look at these sideboards. No Corrosive Gales in Greg Pino's sideboard. But he does get to make another Stranglegeist. Gonna Vapor Snag one of those Stranglegeist back to Greg's hand. Going down to 14 from the attack anyway. But, you know, Greg definitely in a precarious situation. If he...
If Eric flips
yeah,
both
if Eric
of those
flips
Delvers,
both
yeah.
those Delvers, he's, you know, on a significantly...
The 3-turn clock.
yeah, it's just 3 turns till he's dead.
And Delver does not flip.
Yeah.
Greg with a thumbs up.
Yeah. That's
Is-
important for him. If
Yeah,
those flip
it
there,
really
that's a
is.
really, really bad thing.
Going to 16 though. And third Delver. Wow, this could get real awkward real fast.
Yeah.
For Greg, I mean, if the Delvers flip, it's not even awkward, it's just terrible.
It's a disaster.
It's an aberration. There is a Strangleroot Geist surprise, and Greg in for 4. Eric to 10.
Yeah, now a white card now in Greg's hand. Looks like it's probably a Blade Splicer. Eric, again, not flipping his Delvers. Really, really important for him to not flip these Delvers if Greg's going to win. Really important for him to flip them if he's going to win.
So he swings with 2 Delvers. Knocks Greg to 14, I suppose.
Yep.
It doesn't look like he blocked, or not blocked, but it doesn't look like it. When he grabbed his land, I thought he had some sort of response there, but no. And Porcelain Legionnaire.
That's going to drop Eric to 8. Important thing for Greg there.
Eric can't seem to find a third land either. Zealous Conscripts.
And that's going to steal that Porcelain Legionnaire.
I think that's game 3.
It looks like it. He can only block 1, and he's going to take... well, no, he's only taking
He
7.
could live.
Yeah,
It's
so he goes
just-
to 1.
It looks like
Yeah. Now down to 1.
Delver's still being stubborn.
Yeah, Delver's still
It's a
not
land
flipping
this
for Eric.
time.
Very odd that he wasn't drawing lands and wasn't drawing Delvers for all those turns. All right, and timely reinforcements for Eric is going to pop him back up to 7, but still not a good situation for him. Now, Greg can Green Sun Zenith for a way to kill that artifact, or, yeah.
Gavin,
he can just Kessig Wolf run and kill his opponent, too. His opponent's tapped out.
I don't see, I don't know that Eric can get out of this one, especially if the Delvers are going to refuse to flip like they have been. Those guys are pretty terrible when they're not going to flip.
For 3, and yep, that's a Viridian Corruptor.
And there goes the Porcelain Legionnaire.
Yeah. And
Eric's going to probably go to 3 here.
Yeah, he goes down
double
to
Strangleroot Geist.
Goes down to 2 or 3 depending on his block.
Yeah.
Yep, goes down to 3. And an Avacyn's Pilgrim comes down for Greg. No hand now. And still doesn't flip the Delver.
Wow. I think it was a Seachrome Coast. Yes, it was.
Actually, the worst card he could have drawn.
Yeah, let's go to game 3. Woo, that was rough. I mean, ignoring the entire left-hand side of the board, that was rough to see 3 Delvers and they just would not flip. Like, you get the triple Delver draw and you're like, I got a triple Delver. This is great. This could be ridiculous, but it also could be pitiful. And that's what happened there. So.
This is Bear pointing out, events are apparently gone up in price a little bit since my building on a budget column a week and a half ago.
Ah, very nice.
And now I'd be excited to see if that Freets deck did well that was playing Tybalt also. That's something I'd like to see in this top
that was
8.
cool. So you didn't actually investigate the missing player, right? I guess he just dropped.
I think he just dropped. I think he was started out 5-0 and then rattled off 3 losses in a row and decided to go home.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. It just seemed like we were so excited because he had Triumph of it wasn't Triumph of the Hordes. That's what it was called, right?
Yeah.
And
That's pretty sweet.
That was really cool. So.
Sammy B pointing out the last match we watched, last round, the player had sided in a bunch of surgical extractions against Delver and then drew multiples of them after mulliganing. And his hand just didn't do anything. He's like, why are people siding that card in against non-free decks?
Would like to go get some dinner tonight. So this is your last chance to go visit his booth and check out some of his
Dreadlocks, that's a good guess. Greg's hair. I can see it. All right, so
kind of looking around here at the decks. Eric at the sideboards here. Eric still really doesn't have any indication that it's a birthing pod deck.
yeah, he has no idea.
Did he even see? Oh, he saw Avacyn's Pilgrim, so that gave away a little bit of the white mana, right? But he didn't cast anything else that was white. There was no birthing pod. He just Green Sun Zenith for Strangleroot Geist.
He's just
Zealous Conscript.
Cast Strangleroot Geist and Green Sun Zenith for Strangleroot Geist.
That
has been what has happened so
Kind
far.
of wish Greg didn't cast the Avacyn's Pilgrim because it's the whole white mana aspect. Well, he did. He played what's it called? Razorverge Thicket. You know, the green-white one. So maybe that's not as big of a deal. But still, I mean, Eric probably has little idea that it's birthing pod, although the fact that it's Naya is no surprise.
No. And he could just think he's playing against a Naya aggro deck. I think Greg Pino. This could be the first Priest of Eurobrask in SCG Top 8.
Would it be?
I think it would be.
I know, Michael Jacob and Chapin were playing that in Birthing Pod, in Naya Pod back, like when Birthing Pod started kind of taking off.
Yeah, in Baltimore, I believe they were. Grand Prix Baltimore.
Yeah, I don't know when it was, but it was. They definitely were working on that list. I don't feel like it was Baltimore because. Are you talking about recently? Like the Grand Prix Baltimore that was like in February that Jackie Lee played with?
No.
Okay, because that's the only.
Or not Baltimore. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
Okay, that could be
Pittsburgh.
Right.
Yeah, it was when there was like Caw Blade, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I'm thinking it may have been like last summer, pre-Innistrad even, because Priest of Eurobrask is from New Phyrexia, Birthing Pod, New Phyrexia. Yeah, it feels like it was around Nationals last year. So, got pretty popular for a little while. And then sort of disappeared, somewhat kind of went under the radar for a bit.
These Birthing Pod decks, you know, they pop up,
Yeah.
pod up, and they go away.
How about that?
But they're really powerful. I
Is
mean,
it
it's such
Angel of
insane-
Jubilation, the one that is it? It's white, one, other
Non-black
creatures,
creatures
and
you
then
control
like
get plus
isn't
plus
it
one.
like your opponent can't sacrifice? Is it that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty good against Birthing Pod. But Birthing Pod never seems to be big enough deal
Yeah, nobody's
to
gonna
want
play
to
those
play that,
cards.
right? They can't pay life for effects, and they can't sacrifice anything. So like Dismember wouldn't be playable, Gutshot wouldn't be playable.
Yeah, I mean, you can turn off all your opponent's Phyrexia mana spells. You can turn off their Phyrexia Metamorphosis, things like that.
Yeah, I mean either turn them off or make them actually cost real mana.
I mean, most of the decks that play Phyrexia Metamorph have Birds of Paradise.
Yeah,
So they can still just cast them.
yeah.
Not
I'm
the greatest
thinking
thing ever, you know what I mean?
more along
But-
the lines of like Dismembers and the Gutshots in Delver and things like that. You know, because the decks that have access to birds typically have access are already playing red and are playing better 1 mana red spells than Gutshot.
Yeah.
Delver is the deck that plays Gutshot.
Yeah,
and
and
you
you know,
can't
the
pay for
Gutshots
it.
out of Delver, they don't happen before you have an Angel. They always happen before you have Angel on the table.
Yeah. So Eric mulliganing again.
So Eric mulliganing is going to 5, I believe. It's going to 6, okay. And, you know, anybody who's played Delver knows that going to 6 is no problem. Sorry, I'm laughing at some of the Twitter comments. So, I mean, I hate to be somebody who wants to root for one person, but we already have some Delver decks in this top 8. I don't want to see a Delver-dominated top 8 again. Let's
And
get a
do we-
Niapod deck in there.
You just want the beard in there. Oh wow, look at that.
What was that?
It was one
Was
of
there
these,
some sort of animal on
it
that
was
table?
Like it was like one of these kind of things, but he had his fingers in different, like something like that. Yeah. All right, Delver of Secrets. Eric has Bird of Paradise. I'm sorry, Eric doesn't have Bird of Paradise. Greg has Bird of Paradise.
Yeah, and no mental misstep for that?
No. And no Gutshot either. at
Did
least not
Greg
yet.
reveal the card for the Delver?
That would have been nice. Apparently flipped. Trust me, flipped. I didn't see it.
I didn't see it
I
either.
think I guess Greg saw it.
I mean, that'd be good if he saw it. Oh, okay, it was a Bonder. It was a back card in his hand.
Into Legionnaire something.
Snapcaster. Putting in his hand, he's probably going to keep that one. And Legionnaire is really good against Greg's deck. Greg doesn't have any sort of like cheap removal. And if he has an Ancient Grudge in his hand, then Greg
Ponder number
chooses
2.
to ponder again, and he's going to shuffle those away, huh?
Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle.
But I mean, again, Porcelain Legionnaire is really good against Greg's deck.
Except for the Ancient Grudge.
Yeah. Which, again, we're not really sure if he has those. You would expect him to bring them in because his opponent probably has swords in his deck and
Right.
Also has Porcelain Legionnaires, but
He might not have. he did see spectral flight, so he may think maybe there are no swords.
Yeah, so green Cincinnati for 1 for Greg, and Greg fails to find a second land. Could be a big problem for him.
Second birds.
All right, Eric, gonna get to bash in for another 3 here. Greg dropping down to 14 now. And let's see, yeah, so Eric does have that Porcelain Legionnaire. Ooh, but a Huntmaster of the Fells comes down, and that's a pretty good one. Huntmaster of the Fells so good against Eric's deck. Now Eric's probably going to have to just main phase Snapcaster Mage here.
Yeah, he's got to play something. Can't keep that. Can't let that that guy start ravaging your board.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to turn both guys sideways, and Greg's going to probably just go to 10. I mean, it's not that big of a deal at this point.
Goes with a gut shot.
Goes for a gut shot, and yeah, basically that gut shot is just for.
It's more to keep the Ravager from or the Huntmaster from flipping than to kill the birds. Well, kills the birds too, but yeah, just a main phase gut shot.
And depending on what's in Greg's hand, things could get pretty crazy this turn. You never know. And he has a Birthing Pod deck. Crazy stuff can happen.
Blade Splicer from Greg. Splicing blades. Mana Leak. Thinking about it, thinking about it.
He's got to attack with at least one of them. Yep, there he goes.
Huntmaster in.
Actually surprised Greg cast a spell there. I mean, you don't really need to. By passing the turn and getting that Delver off the table, it's really hard to lose. Greg gonna drop to 7 here.
Blocks the Porcelain Legionnaire with the Wolf token. Takes 3 from the Delver, the flipped Delver.
Yep, gets to flip this over, and gonna drop Eric down to 7 or down to 12, and get rid of that Delver. And now there's a Huntmaster of the Fells on the table.
Ravager of the Fells.
Yeah, Ravager of the Fells. So this turn, Greg can, Priest of Urabrask. Gonna add 3 red mana to his mana pool, and, gets mana leaked. Just gonna pass the turn back. Yeah, another island for Eric, not exactly what he's looking for. Greg that turn, if he was able to get that Priest out, that would have been really good, because then he could have flipped the Huntmaster back again. Yeah.
Strangleroot Geist.
And at this point, I think you just green side for 0. Which failed to find. Attacking for 4. Eric gonna fall to 8 here. And a green side for 0. I like that play a lot.
You do. You predicted it.
So he's gonna shuffle. Oh, you have to shuffle the green side back into your deck. Yeah. And the Huntmaster's going to flip back now because he casts 2 spells. And, I mean, Eric is clearly having a lot of trouble casting anything on his own turn. So it's very likely that he's just going to have a Ravager again.
Yeah.
So that flips back, and Greg's going to go back to 9 and get another Wolf.
Continue with your turn. Eric draws, I believe, an island. I don't know. He may not have been, but
looks like it might be a Vapor Snag, which is pretty good here. It'd be very dangerous to attack with that Porcelain Legionnaire, but he's thinking about it. Greg here, failing to find a third land, still, you know, putting up quite the fight, having a pretty awesome game plan.
And Vapor Snag.
Snagging the Huntmaster.
On the Huntmaster. Get back on your sleeve. Passes back. Greg draws.
Oh, Birds of Paradise. No, Greg can't really attack. I mean, Porcelain Legionnaire does a pretty good job just holding Eric's team deck forever. But yeah, here he's able to Green Sun for 1, and he's going to find an Avacyn's Pilgrim to go with those 2 birds. Or actually, I think I might just get another bird. Yeah, that's what he does.
Bird, bird, bird. Great Pino
And
passes back.
the birds fly, which is kind of important.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't want to just like die to a random like 4/4 angel token or something like that. And I mean, a Zell's Conscripts would be game, and yeah, that's the Zell's Conscripts.
That is gonna be trouble. Everybody in.
That's it. Yeah.
Geist,
Yeah.
Geist,
Nice.
Timely Reinforcements, Batterskull. Could not find a white source.
Yeah, so Eric Prem, great show with this very interesting list of Delver, but Greg Pino